on 947. This is Eyewitness News.
Good evening, I'm Moroka. We start with breaking news. Western Cape Judge President John Hlophe has become the first judge in democratic South Africa to be impeached. The parliamentary vote on his removal from office wrapped up a short while ago and the results are now in. House Chair Cedric Frolick made the announcement.
The result of the division is as follows. There's no abstentions. 27 voted against and 305 voted in favor. The question is order. The question is accordingly agreed to, and the House resolves to call for the removal from office of Judge President M.J. Hlophe in terms of Section 177, subsection 1 of the Constitution of the Republic. This resolution will be communicated to His Excellency the President.
And Finance Minister Enoch Godongwana says the social wage bill will increase again as poorer South Africans try to put food on the table. While delivering the 2024 budget in the Cape Town City Hall this afternoon, the minister said social grants are expected to take up the lion's share of government's expenditure this year. A fine Thursday in store for Gauteng tomorrow, becoming partly cloudy with isolated afternoon thunder showers. Joburg dropping to an overnight low of 19 degrees, peaking at 30. Pretoria 20 and 32, Vereniging 18 and 32 as well. Robert Marawa, Eyewitness News.
Eyewitness News on 947. For more, click ewn.co.za.
#MSW.
You may begin to feel anxious or excited.
Honest, deliberate, engaging, uncensored.
High-dosage administration can cause adverse reactions.
And most importantly, independent in mind and execution.
This is a normal response. Are you ready?
Marawa Sports Worldwide.
Firstly, just want to congratulate the special one, Usivenati Nonjinga, for reclaiming the IBF Junior Flyweight title.
Ivapa yamdazakhandi uThixo unamandla ujima naye na andiva awusithi uThixo unamandla ujima naye na hayi andazi ke uyandohlula shem yaphambana.
As for Thembi Lodge signing, for me, I would say that was a signing of kindness rather than merits. I think the coach was just being kind to the boy, maybe given their past history or something.
A signing of kindness, never heard of that one.
If they bring, I know lots of people, they don't believe in VAR, but when you look of some decisions that made by referees, we need it. We need the VAR in South Africa.
Robert Marawa, live on 947. Vuma FM, Rise FM, and Sowetan Live. #MSW. Wednesday nights, soccer nights, your nights.
Hey guys, what's happening with Kama Billiard, eh?
Zimbabwean football poster boy Kama Billiard, formerly of Ajax Cape Town, Mamelodi Sundowns and recently Kaizer Chiefs, is always followed by drama wherever he goes. Robert, I think everyone knows that Kama has been unattached since leaving Kaizer Chiefs. So when news broke out last week that Kama was heading back to Zimbabwe to join a local club, it's been pandemonium and chaos. But Dynamo's Football Club, the biggest club in Zimbabwean football, were in the forefront of signing him. But like I said, since the news broke out, every club has been chasing Kama Billiard. But the funny thing, Robbie, when Kama arrived at the Harare International Airport yesterday after 8 p.m., there was pandemonium at the Harare International Airport where people were waiting for him, singing, especially Dynamo's Football Club supporters. But surprise, 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 were officials of one local side, Yada FC, who are partnered by some rich guys in Zimbabwe, especially in Harare, whisked him away. So it remains to be seen which team Kama is going to join. Like I said, there's always drama. Some clubs were promising about 20,000 signing on fees, that is US dollars for Kama Billiard, and a salary of $4,000 US a month. It never surprises people that Kama is followed by all this. But Robert, well, our ears are opened, our eyes will be looking everywhere to hear what is happening. There's still more to come. Kama Billiard's life is always full of surprise soap opera indeed. From me, Odysseus Marawa here in Cape Town. Thank you so much, Rob.
Odysseus giving us the latest with regards to the life and times of Kama Billiard surfacing in Zimbabwe, and also saying that the officials from Yada FC decided to whisk him away and no longer going to Dynamos. Now, if anybody knows about Yada FC and the people behind Yada FC, they would know how much money they have. You know, there's money, then there's money from Yada FC individuals. That's the big difference. And that's where he might find himself. And, you know, the signing on fees almost made my guest fall off his chair here. Was that we're talking about US dollars. All right, we don't want anybody to fall off their chairs, but all I'm saying is that you want to send your WhatsApp voice notes nice and early, 060-708-0484, 060-708-0484. Any questions, any comments that you do have for our guest, please feel more than free to do that. There's plenty to try and clear the air about with him. And to say that this man is an absolute treasure would be an understatement, man. A human being before anything else. He's always shown that. And he also recently parted ways with Moroka Swallows. I want to quote something that stood out for me in his very heartfelt statement that he made. So Swallows made a statement. They put it out. And then just, 24 hours ago or so, then the man himself decided to put out his own statement. And I quote, he says, "You portrayed selfless resilience irrespective of circumstances. There were moments where none of us would know what more to say to you. But you always carried yourself with poise, pride, dignity, and amazing respect. May I kindly request you to give the same support to coaches Musanyatama, Ditego Mutoto, as well as Telangobeni. Good luck, my brothers, with the delicate task lying ahead. Give it your best. It is illegal to enter and exit. It is illegal to enter and exit." End quote. Now, you can't tell me that those aren't a father's words to his bleeding children. I think humanity as well as humility embodied a tangible representation of Ubuntu right there. Ladies and gentlemen, that humble human being is none other than Steve Komphela, who joins me live in our studio. Steve, good to see you. Welcome.
Great pleasure, Rob. Thank you so much. And it's always nice to be with you. When it was time for entry, you were the first one to invite us, if you remember.
Yes.
Maybe it is the other side.
Yes.
Maybe it is time for exit. I want to remain legal.
Do you feel that you made an illegal entry in an exit lane?
There are moments in life when the writing is on the wall. It only takes your stubborn rationale not to accept that what is on the wall reads Robert Marawa. And we're not wanting to take what sight gives you and then you decide to read it otherwise. Whoever is reading along with you or whoever has gone past that station knowing the billboard says Robert Marawa would be saying, which Mawara did he see this guy? There's something wrong with him, not unless he has smoked his socks. So I think, in my opinion as such, it took me to a point where I said, no, man, under circumstances, one has to be very clear with himself. Sometimes honesty is important. And ngesintu there's something abayibiza ubisi. Bathi ukonakala kobisi ukulunga kwamasi. When the milk goes sour, then uzoba inkomasi. In how we brought up is that lalela na inhloya ayichithwa. You'd eat pap ngenhloya if days are really dark. So that's one thing that I picked up, that listen, I think this milk is spilled. And there's no need in my crying over it and trying to pick up the milk when it has actually been soaked by the black soil.
At what stage, though, Steve, did you realize that milk had spilled?
I think I realized couple of weeks after we had cancelled both Moroka Sundowns and the Arrows match, because it was on the 27th of December. We cancelled Mamelodi Sundowns, and then the one which was supposed to be played on the 30th, that also got cancelled simultaneously, and the season got wrapped. Okay, and that's it. And that was the end of any other hint or indication of what next. And I had drawn plans with staff, obviously, consultation with your physical trainer, the coaches, physiotherapists, and everybody around the team to say, the AFCON is going to run up until mid-February, around the 13th. So when do we resume training? Because the AFCON comes to an end around 10-13, and we play in Cape Town City. It would only be wise of us to start at least 4 weeks earlier, which then took us back to the 15th of January, which would be a Monday. And the plan was rubber stamped and agreed upon by those who know that, okay, from a physical point of view, Durrell said, no, coach, this will work. Musa, no, coach, I think by that time they would have adapted. And then we started working on the practice matches. When do we start practice matches? When do we play 45 minutes? When we go 60? When do you go 90? So that by the time the season starts, everybody is ready. That plan got aborted when I got a call from Obrasipo, Mr. Kulu. It was on the 12th. So we have to start on the 15th, on the 12th, a Friday. Then Obrasipo says, man, coach, would you please just bear with me? I've been sent to request that the training session, the resumption must be postponed until further notice. And I had not communicated with the front office from the 27th up until the 12th when I got to the message from Obrasipo. And it was quite strange for me. But then I said, you know what? There's a lot that had happened. There were letters that were given of suspension of players. In fact, first it was a disciplinary hearing. I wasn't informed. I didn't know about that. Then there was suspensions. I didn't know about that. Expulsions. I didn't know about that. And even the players who were leaving the club, I was going like, but come on, man. I'm working with these folks, man. These players are actually the ones we meet daily. So I have no clue. I don't know what's happening. Nobody talks to me.
Steve, sorry, I know you want to say more, but when I get to a point where I don't believe something, I have to interject. The 22 players who, I think it was on a Friday, when we broke that news here on the show, and we spoke to the lawyer representing Swallows, you telling me that there was not even a whisper in your ear by the people who own or run the club to say, listen, you are brought in here to coach. And who do you coach? You coach players. Now, the players that you're supposed to be coaching, 22 of them, we are saying goodbye to.
I knew nothing. But I understood how the environment was quite volatile. And at the back of the processes, I had seen that unfold leading even before SuperSport. When I pleaded with the players, I personally put my reputation at stake and risked and said, guys, we have to honor the match. I requested them. We had a serious debate and I made some commitments, even though I have no power to put any commitments to a group of 30 top professionals. We played the SuperSport match. In that SuperSport match, we played 15 days without having even trained. We just went at Dobsonville and rocked there. And even a night before, we had not camped. We just assembled during the day, then went on, played the match just to save the situation, and then got out. Now what happens with football? we score first and we feel like, hey, but wait a minute. And we're hanging there, playing the way we wish to play. Even the coaches are saying, if only we can survive this 90 minutes. Little did we know that around 84th minute, tables would change, then SuperSport scores, and then they score again, we lose the match. And as that happens, a sad part of it is that our people had not been informed. Then in the stands, rightly so, supporters say, no, Steve must go. And I'm saying to the coaches, guys, do you hear what they're saying? Mm-hmm. And they are right, because now they are, listen, with 6 minutes to go before end of the match, and then you lose like that. But unfortunately, they do not know that we have not been training for 15 days, which then led to the press conference, post-match press conference at Dobsonville, where I had to speak the truth. Sometimes when you say the truth, truth hurts.
So in that press conference, you then divulged the actual facts.
Robert,
because it's unheard of, Steve. I mean, you've been a professional in many, many quarters. I'm sure even in Qwaqwa Stars, you never went 2 days without...
I don't do that.
You know?
I in all environments I've worked, whether it had been at SAFA, wherever, I make it a point that I protect my people, because those people put bread on the table. Even as is, I have a responsibility to protect Moroka Swallows, and I have a responsibility to keep Amasapota with Swallows in good hands, because if I'm messy, irresponsible, and almost dumb to be saying stuff that's going to compromise our people who are supporters of Swallows, who when they go to the garage, they know that, oh, Steve, he supported Swallows, and then they start taunting you for what is. I don't do that. I have to protect the institution. I must have an extremely high level of confidentiality. But fact remains, there are moments where everything is known, and you can't be beating around the bush. You have to speak the truth. And when they asked me at Dobsonville, I had to be honest and speak the truth. There's quite a number of things that we tried to get right, but Rob, it was just too difficult.
But it would be then allowing a situation to manifest itself even more, because even in that SuperSport game, their 2 goals came, in the last 5 minutes of the game.
Yes,
Igadaro scored in the last minute of the game, just before referee's optional time. So you had been in the lead up until that time, and for a team that has not trained for 15 days, that is crazy.
The football gods, football is something else. I always tell people that, sometimes we kick the ball, it's on the grass, it's rolling. Little do we know that football is a spiritual game. And I always say to myself, why should it be that there's going to be Champions League matches playing tonight?
Yeah.
When a goal is scored, there's going to be Nedbank matches played. When a goal is scored, everybody simultaneously just they stand up and celebrate. Or if a penalty is missed or an open chance is missed, everybody puts their hands on the head. And nobody said, hey, ready, put your hands on the head. No, that tells you the command that the ball has, not only with players, not only with the grass, but also with supporters. So you can't lie to the game. The game has got its own spiritual connections. And I always say to players, you are never a player until you become spiritual. You are never a good coach up until you become spiritual. Football triggers spirituality in you. It goes deeper than the physical part, the mental part. It is more spiritual. And when you are in touch with your spirituality, then you'll get results in football, which is why about team spirit. Team spirit is nothing else but to be connected. When you are connected, then performance gets enhanced because of emotional glue.
Do you believe that you hung on for too long? You hoped that things would get better?
I didn't hang on for too long. I was precisely on the frames of time that were allocated up until between 27th and the 12th. I think that 2 weeks to me was a moment of unbelievable silence, indecisiveness, and I ended up not knowing what's going on, what is happening.
Yeah.
And that time, you're getting information, you're getting messages, social media and whatever about things happening. And you can't even account. Nobody tells you that, oh, this is what is happening. Which is where in some of the responses I gave when I've been interrogated about this issue, I made it clear that there was no communication from the front office. And when there's no communication from the front office, you ask yourself, but what is happening? Now, if you think players being expelled and all that without the coach's knowledge, If you think that was bad enough, the worst one where I said, hi, you don't force yourself upon a marriage that really doesn't want you. It is when Elasto had decided he's going to bring in a whole lot of other players from all over without anybody's understanding and knowledge, conducted trials in a way to say they are trying to form a team. I'm going like, but if you conduct trials, if you invite trialists, coaches have to be part of that process to say, the type of player we're looking at is this, and we're looking for players.
And where were these players coming from? So that question and a whole lot more is what Steve Komphela is going to be answering straight after the break. Don't go anywhere because it is fascinating. Hey?
Yeah.
Crazy.
Yeah.
#MSW live now on 947 Vuma FM, Rise FM, and Soweto Live at the same time.
#MSW.
You could get leap year lucky with Hollywood Bets. Stand a chance to win 29 times your deposit. Register for a Hollywood Bets account and make a minimum deposit of 100 Rand. Valid from 21st to 28th February. Make your deposit now. T's and C's apply. Hollywood Sportsbook is a licensed betting operator. Hollywood Bet supports responsible gambling. No persons under the age of 18 years are permitted to gamble. Winners know when to stop. South African Responsible Gambling Foundation toll-free counselling line 0800 006 008 or WhatsApp help to 076 675 0710.
Shopping sprees, sea breeze, mouth-watering cuisines, flop and drop, adrenaline junkie, the ultimate explorer. We've got the perfect pick for you. Missed your flights, lost luggage frights, or just need some help? Whether you're in Cape Town, Sao Paulo, Dubai, or Mauritius, we are always here for you. Get in touch. You're never alone. Online, in-store, via the app, or over the phone. Your center, our center, Light Center.
Hey there, comedy lovers. Get ready to LOL with Comedy Central's most ridiculous watch and win competition. We're giving you a chance to win tickets to one of the hottest comedy shows in town. Jim Jeffries, Jimmy Carr. But that's not all. We're also giving away exclusive Comedy Central prizes. Here's how to enter. Tune in to Most Ridiculous Mondays to Fridays at 9 p.m. on DSTV channel 122. Scan the QR code and answer the questions on screen to enter. Comedy Central's Most Ridiculous Watch and Win.
It's time for the Union Tiles Extravaganza. Join us for the ultimate tile experience and explore our exclusive range of tiles, taps, and bathroom accessories meticulously curated to transform your home into a masterpiece. Get more choice and more payment options at Union Tiles. Hurry to Union Tiles, Bedford View, Centurion, Randburg, and Silver Lakes, or uniontiles.co.za. Your dream home awaits. Union Tiles, style and quality you can afford.
February is a month of love, and Meat World is bringing you a whole lot of love this month end with these tender, tasty deals. Bulk beef chuck, sugar brisket at $79.99 per kg. 1 kg frozen chicken fillet, $59.99 per bag. And 500-gram Meat World catering ham at just $29.99 per pack. Specials valid from 21 until 27 February. Available at all Meat World branches while stocks last. Meat World, your friendly family butcher.
Before they buy your car, be really sure. Before they push too far, be really sure. Be really sure. Be really sure. Before you drive in and think what might have been. Before they buy your car, be really sure.
Get to the new Wheelie Mega Store in Midstream and choose from thousands of cars at wholesale prices. Wheelie.co.za, SA's most trusted place to buy, sell, or trade your car.
Previously on Marawa Sports Worldwide.
Hashtag MSW coming through from West London today, and we're chatting to Mario Leo all the way in Germany. He is the founder of Ad Result Sports, and we're chatting all things to do with what some of you have also spoken about in your voice notes, which is Bundesliga.
And I put it fairly bluntly, when you then go very arrogantly to the media and state the media that there is no issue and there is no issue, but the team only plays 30 minutes rock solid good football, and in the post-game interview then Thomas Tuchel said, yeah, there is a expected goal of 3.5. We should have been much better. Bochum scored 3, and that's why you got 3 defeats in a row. So don't talk to me about expected goals. Score the goals first.
Hashtag MSW. Hashtag MSW. Wednesday nights, soccer nights, your nights.
Hey Rob, mkhumbi kakhumalo lo. Let me also ngibingelele kubaba umbuyiselo, ubaba Komphela, and I want to thank him for what he's done for Swallows. I never thought that I would come, as quickly as we have done, for him saying goodbye. I'm hurt, Marawa. I know Steve has worked for different clubs who are normal, who just disappeared. I'm talking about Demanding Rangers, Platinum Stars, Free State Stars, and all these teams. They are normal. And Steve, I think he should have some sort of insight. And I'm a very concerned Moroka Swallows supporter. Just one question, besides Ugumbonga, Ubabu Steve, is there a solution? Are we ever going to come out of these doldrums that we find ourselves in as Swallows? Not forgetting that this team was relegated in 2015. We're in a healing process. We are in a healing process, if I may put it that way. But having made reference to the teams that Ubabu Steve coached before, as embarrassed as I am as a Swallows supporter, is there a way? Are we ever going to come out of this situation? What did you see, Putumbuyiselo? Will there be a solution, Swallows? I mean, that's all.
Hi Robert, it's Abi Moloi from Naturena. My question to Coach Steve is that if he can get an offer to return back to Mamelodi Sundowns, will he consider that? Good luck for your future endeavors, Coach. Good luck.
Hi, good evening, Mr. Marawa. Thank you again for a nice show. Matsobanes Perapere, Mamelodi Sundowns. I've got great respect for Coach Steve Komphela. Coach Steve, you are the best. You'll remain the best. You are simply the best. And then I think that is attested by your stay at Swallows. I think Swallows were playing good football when you were there. And I wish you all the best in your future endeavors. And my wish is to see you back at Mamelodi Sundowns. Matsobanes Perapere, Mamelodi Sundowns. Sky is the limit. Thank you, Robert.
Hi, Rob. This is Tomiati from Edenvale. Rob, as much as it pains to see Steve Komphela leaving Moroka Swallows, Rob, I believe South Africa or South African football is blessed to have a person like Steve. Other coaches wouldn't have released such a statement, Rob. It shows he's a man who doesn't have an ego, who has the passion for South Africa. I wish Coach Steve all the best. If I was the man in charge of our football, I think Bafana have an asset in Steve Komphela, regardless of which position they can put him on. Thanks, Rob. Good show. Greetings to Steve also.
Evening, Rob and Coach Steve. Rob, I think Coach Steve and Coach Gavin Hunt needs to be given a slot in the coaching courses to impart and empower young and upcoming coaches on what is required for one to be resilient at the highest level of coaching in this country, because I think those gentlemen have seen it all. But my question to Coach Steve is with regards to coaching standardization. Do you think that is priority as opposed to implementing football administration and standardization first, where we capacitate clubs with qualified administrators? When we get to that level of coaching standardization, we know that clubs are operating optimally at the administration level. Then it becomes a smooth transition and we don't have issues of governance, whereas when clubs have got qualified coaches, because for me that is priority, because it's similar to having qualified doctors, whereas the hospital doesn't have a qualified CEO to understand the basics of maybe an anesthetic, something of that sort. Just want to hear your views around that.
Yeah, what a diagnosis, Tebogo. Thank you so much indeed. I think let's start off with that last one, Steve. We'll work backwards with all of the voice notes that came through. So what Tebogo is basically asking is about standardization. Do we have the capacity to capacitate it? With other clubs saying that Gavin should be there to empower the young coaches. How do you respond to that?
Yeah, I think there are compliances as per EPSL. There's club licensing that talks to such as well. There's also coaching qualification that talks to that. And I think he's got a great point when he speaks of standardization. But I would then stretch it even further to say, let's not only bring norms and standards at a technical level. let there be also some sort of norms and standards at admin level, which obviously will then incorporate the third leg of the game, which is a stakeholder where supporters are then going to identify with the product. So the biggest challenge is that there's a statement that was once made by Neil Tovey at some point, and I don't know what made Neil think like that. Neil said, if you expect me to win the championship, win the league, then let's make sure that I'm a coach who's capable to be at number one. And then that's from a technical point of view. Then give me the support that is number one, accompanying the expertise of a number one technician. And apart from that, let me also invite number one support. So if you have, from a supporter's point of view, top, number one, and then you try your utmost best to get top management and administration, and also make it a point that apart from the coach, you also have good players, and then you can then be at that level with your supporters at number one. But Neil says we expect a team to win the league when there's, let's say you have a coach, but you don't get the support necessary, either administratively or even in terms of bumps on the seats, on the seats in the stadium. So he says it has to be more, is a package. And if you have that package, then there's a possibility. Then standardization would then fall into that, where now you make it more of a product which has all these components and stakeholders who are all held accountable and are efficient in their respective portfolios and positions.
Tom Nyati spoke about you being a statesman of some sort with no ego. He mentioned that at some point, in whatever capacity, Bafana will need you one day. Have you ever thought that far?
I'll go back to what I once said previously, I think in my previous life. Any leader worth their salt must not seek a position. They must be placed and put at a position. If you are so aggressive to want to be at a particular position, you may not necessarily be ready. You get elected, you get put there, don't put yourself. Because when you put yourself there, there's probably other interests that are more personal than those who put you there for interests of public. You don't put yourself.
And talking about your previous life, because we're not talking about you now. So let me also delve into your previous life.
You don't want to know that one.
Did your previous life also have you as a Bafana coach at some point? Despite all that you've said now about your previous life.
I was there before.
Yes, I know you were there.
Yes,
that
was my previous life.
Stuart Baxter?
Yes.
Yeah.
And we had great time with Stuart. And I think apart from Bafana, the team that campaigned in the 2010 World Cup, I'm sure 9 of the players we developed from under 23 were part of that, which was part to the brief at under 23. I also had the opportunity to work at under 20, under 17. I also worked with under 12 team that went to France, here Danone. So with the national teams, I think one has enough experience and you understand the terrain and the culture and you also understand the players. But with Bafana, obviously, currently we're doing well and compliment must be given to the team, also the coach and also the association that we did not have issues of salaries and all that. For whatever reason, this AFCON was quite quiet. We never heard of anybody who never got paid. And even at the end of the AFCON, the beauty of Africa is that nobody was put to jail to say, no, because you got eliminated far too early, come have an experience in jail, like it happened some time before.
It didn't happen.
It didn't happen, which is beautiful, and AFCON was a spectacle. But with regards to Bafana, listen, as is now, top class, at any other level, and I think Walter Steenberg as well is doing quite a good job as a technical director. So there are structures, there are systems that need to be made to be more efficient, and there has to be some level of tolerance and patience in the product and the process, because if you're in a process without patience, it won't work.
All right, so the most popular question, which I'm going to condense, we got it both from AB as well as Matsobane, and I think I'm getting it a lot here. And guys, if you're just not aware, we are live on the YouTube channel as we speak. So we are born now, Steve. I mean, I'm not showing you, look at, no, here on the phone. these are...
imlo ayibona indoda emnyama nje
imnyama lensizwe
umele kube indoda imele kube emnyama.
But you can see these comments that are flooding through.
I hope it is comments that build the game. Yes, Rob.
They do.
And there's a question like, is there a solution? The first caller.
That is what I was going to ask you. That was what Mkhumbi Khumalo was asking. He says, is there a solution at Swallows?
Yes.
What is the solution?
There is no problem without a solution. But it is a willingness of those who are facing the problem to put their hands in and then apply the right. You could have answers, you could have solutions, but at the end of it, try find a way to spin this thing towards the right direction. I think one of the challenges we faced at Moroka Swallows are the inheritance of the baggage of the past.
Yeah.
There are moments where you get into a project and you inherit some sort of stuff that you need to clean. And part to that was financial. There was a huge financial burden, and all of us know about it. I'm not here to be maybe trying to unravel things that it is known.
Yeah.
And now what you do then, you're saying, okay, be realistic, which is what I said to Elasto. I said, the club needs to be more realistic. Say, okay, we are not actually as fluid when it comes to access to resources. We don't have enough money. We don't have money.
Yeah.
So then, but we still need to compete and campaign in the Premier League. Let's come up with a strategy. And this thing is done almost by everybody. Nago Free State Stars, we did this thing. We would say, stick to a tight budget. And Rob, even yourself at home, you stick to a tight budget. Not unless maybe one of your daughters or one of your sons, they come saying, hey, Dad, but I want sneakers. Or your daughter says, no, but Dad, I need to go do my hair. Okay, you check. Okay, can I put that extra 800 there? Can I? The budget, no.
Yeah.
In football, have a budget and stick to the budget. Now, I said to Elasto, let's assume you have 30 rand, okay?
Right.
30 rand budget. Create 3 categories of players. Now, in that category, have about 4 or 5 top players. You know that these ones will earn more than everybody else. And give them their budget of 10 rand. 5 players sharing 10 rand would be 2 rand each. The next category, category B, then it will be the players who take part. They are part of the team. They do play, not as consistent as the category A, about 10 of those. If those 10 share 10 rand, they will be sharing 1 rand. So those, the first category in A, they earn 2 rand. Category B, they earn 1 rand. It's logical. But then from category B, if you drop into category A, then it means you'll get an increment. Then you have category C, who are then your fringe players. It could be players from your youth team.
Yeah.
You can have 15 of those. Let's do now arithmetic. 5 players could be your foreigners.
Yeah.
You have a quote of 5 foreigners. You have 5 foreigners, you know that, guys, you must be on the park week in, week out. Here, there has to be return on investment. Then you have 10 of good players within the Republic of South Africa. That's 15 players. Those people are going to perform week in, week out without fail, and they will definitely carry your team. And then you have 15 other players, whom part of them will be coming from your youth structure. So now you have 5 foreigners, 10 good players from South Africa, which is, you can do that. You have 15. These ones, listen, bazodlala Cape Town City, badlala Sundowns, badlala Chiefs, Benz, and they will come out. You still have a 15 cushion, whom you are training and developing. That's 30. That's your squad. Don't move away from 30 rand. If and when you feel, I need a marquee player from the 5. Look to sell one from the 5 you have to create a slot for a marketing player.
Yeah.
You want to get a top Robert Marawa from Togo. Then get rid of Steve, sell him to whoever. There's a way. And there's also that revenue, generate income. Soon as you sell Steve, and then you look to say, okay, how then, what do I do with this money that I've made? But don't touch your budget. The biggest mistake I think we committed was that on top of the financial burdens we had, we added
even more.
It did not help us.
But did you present that to the team? Did you, as a coach, present it to them?
I spoke to Elasto,
Yeah.
and someone asked me, but why didn't you speak to the chairman? The chairman is busy with many other things, and Elasto is here hands-on,
Yeah.
and I'm sure he's got a hotline with the chairman, but I did hint with the chairman. I also sold this idea with the chairman. I said, listen, the best way to come up with a good business model, which is sustainable, this thing will help you. We can do this.
But
Now,
so you bring in an Andy Lejali who's I don't know who was paying him. Was it Sundowns or was it Swallows?
Okay, let's say you bring, which is where, let's say you bring in AJ.
Yeah.
And then you bring in Umango. Who else did we bring in again? I'm looking at more like your marquee players, top players.
Yeah.
Who did we have again? I'm talking of the ones who got transferred and joined us immediately. Whatever name comes up, they wouldn't have gone past 5. Then you're saying those who had been at Swallows, who need to be rewarded, I don't think they will feel bad if you explain to them, guys, we're trying to scale down so that we can be sustainable from a commercial point of view.
But those 5 already rocking the boat in terms of that 30 Rand.
Yes.
That 30 Rand budget that you spoke about. And I'm glad we're talking finances on the day that Gondogwane shifted things in the budget speech today in Parliament. I know you're going to say more, Steve, but let's reserve that for after the break, because you know what, it's fascinating. And if you listen to Steve very, very carefully, he is indirectly saying, guys, it is possible to do this. It is possible to run the club. But don't run a club with frivolous money you don't have, money you wish you had, and money which you'll never get.
#MSW live now on 947 Vuma FM, Rise FM, and Soweto Live at the same time.
#MSW.
Have you ever asked yourself, why are most mamkhulu small in frame and your other babngan is big? Why are Abu tiny, not so tiny? Just like all things that are a lot for a little, or fulfilling but light elsewhere. The new Festa roll with saucy pulled chicken topped with grilled onions, crispy chips and creamy cheese sauce heaped on a Nando's garlic buttered roll. It's giving abundance. Get it for 49 Rand. Nando's. Fire it up.
Thursdays are reserved for Lotto Star's Real Jackpot Race. Join the race every Thursday from 7 to 9 p.m. and bet from as little as 2 Rand on any participating Real Rush games. Will you be one of the 500 lucky winners who will walk away with their share of 500,000 Rand? Lotto Star, your world of live games.
Lotto Stars, licensed by the Mpumalanga Economic Regulator. No under 18s. National Responsible Gambling Program. 0800 006 008. T's and C's apply. All games are fixed odds betting events.
Fall head over heels into adventure in the rugged GWM P Series LT 4x4 from just 7,299 Rand per month. Torque on demand 4-wheel drive means the P Series LT conquers the toughest trails, and 4 cameras offer a complete 360-degree view, helping to avoid collisions. Available with a 10% deposit over 72 months at prime minus 4.7% with a 40% balloon. Visit dealassist.gwm.coza for full T's and C's. The P Series Double Cab LT 4x4. Power, precision, persistence.
Eskom understands that electricity is an integral part. However, electricity demand is currently higher than supply, and energy efficiency is critical. Businesses are encouraged to reduce consumption between 7 a.m. and 6 p.m. by not leaving electrical equipment on standby mode, as well as turning off unnecessary lighting. We can reduce load shedding by working together. Every kilowatt counts.
You're an influencer, a go-getter, making power moves. Only one phone can match your power and pace. The powerhouse Xiaomi Redmi 13C. With an ultra-powerful camera, a powerful long-lasting battery, and massive storage. All this power can be yours for just 2,999. We'll even throw in a free power bank to keep you powered up. Xiaomi Redmi 13C. The tech powerhouse for everyday life. Available at Takealot, Vodacom, Ackermans, TFG stores, and Mr. Price. While stocks last. T's and C's apply.
The month of love is like your ex, not worth the hype. Who needs roses and chocolates when you can have the latest gadgets commitment-free? So don't hold on to your old devices. Move on with Rentosa and play the field with subscriptions to the best tech, appliances, and more. Whether you need a new phone to swipe through those dating apps or a massive TV for solo Netflix and chill evenings, we've got you covered. No strings attached with month-to-month payments, 0 penalty fees, and total flexibility. Talk about subscriptions with benefits. Commitment is messy. Just Rentosa it. Download the app, visit the website, and join our WhatsApp channel.
Preview Previously on Marawa Sports Worldwide.
The chair is here. I did say that it's not just Steve Komphela, it's the man who approached him on his birthday, David Wakashwa. When did you conceptualize this?
Last week, Monday, we finalized on Saturday morning, and then we had dinner. And when he mentions the knives and all sorts, I remember I'm like, hey, now I'm in trouble because I cut that cake with a fish knife.
It doesn't come cheap, Steve Komphela.
You know, Marawa, you can go stay in Deep Slot or you can have money, but wants to stay in Sandton. You can't stay in Sandton with Deep Slot's money. If you stay in Sandton, you must know that you're going to pay Sandton money. So you must choose where you want to stay and be comfortable and be happy to spend where you're going to stay.
But now you've just spent a weekend with Steve Komphela and you're starting to speak like him.
Because it is there where you pick up signs of a man's quality.
Hashtag MSW. Hashtag MSW. Wednesday nights, soccer nights, your nights.
Evening, Rob. An evening to Mr. Komphela. Good evening, Coach. Rob, I don't know what to say about Swallows anymore. I mean, Swallows, I don't know, man. Probably need somebody or also because the Swallows has been unfortunate to be owned by people who don't take it as a priority. I think we remember the last time Swallows was in the PSL, they were owned by someone who lived in Cape Town, but Swallows who ran Swallows over the phone, so I don't think even the new owners, are doing Swallows any justice. And the Swallows is a big brand. So I think Swallows needs people who will be taking over and actually taking care of it. Thank you, Rob. Great show as always.
Good evening, Rob and the Honorable Coach Steve Komphela. I remember when Moroka Swallows announced him as a head coach, I told people that I normally talk football with that one thing, Moroka Swallows will not be fighting relegation. And how right was I? Despite all that he had to go through, he tried to kept everything under wraps. That's what we call wisdom. And I sent him a message on his Instagram. I said to him, sir, I hope you won't be lost in our football. And Dr. Komphela, we thank you for everything. We will miss your interviews, but hopefully soon you will be back on our screens. Good luck on the future endeavors. And really, Coach, we really, I think our soccer needs you. And may you get the offer very soon and locally, so if possible. Robert Marawa.
Hi, good evening, Mr. Marawa, and good evening to one of my favorite coaches there. Hi, Coach. My question to you, Coach. Let's say you meet someone who's going to ask you, can I join Swallows? Would you say yes? If you say yes, what advice would you give? Thanks, David in Parkwood.
Good evening, Robert. This is the man. Robert, you are with a walking lexicographer there, a man I respect that much. All I want to say to him is there are still greener pastures out there for him to go and graze. He must not despair. Let him search and spread the talent that he acquired while at down. Good show as always. Thank you.
Brothers, thank you so much indeed. All of those WhatsApp voice notes are coming through Soccer Nights right here on hashtag MSW Marawa Sports Worldwide. Live at 947, Vuma FM, Rise FM, and Sowetan Live, wherever you are watching the show. It's on the YouTube channel. YouTube comments coming through. And guess what? Prime Media Plus is the new platform. Simply download the app. Makes your life much easier. That app is, world class, guys. I'm not just saying it because, but it's world class. Download it. See for yourself. Steve Komphela is my guest. And as we start to wind things down, and that's why I hate having conversations with this man, because he has an ability to swallow time. I'm not saying it because it's come from swallows, but he's got an ability to swallow time.
Yeah. But when you say I swallow time, to me it comes across as by Ashobati the hour is late.
Yes.
And the crisis is greater.
And this is a big crisis. Because David in Parkwood said something.
And the hour is so late. We can't blame it on anyone because time would never wait for crisis.
Or man. Or a bird.
Exactly.
Can I join Swallows? That question, out of all the questions, seemed to rock you. So that's why I'm starting there.
It hit me. And it goes along with what everybody else had been saying with regards to Swallows are a big team.
Yeah.
One of our utterances throughout the preparation when we had gone for pre-season training and prep, we said we have a responsibility, we are duty bound to make Moroka Swallows be part of the top 4.
Yes.
We want to go back to history and you know, there's a stage where at some point we're number 4 on the lock. We're boxing so well and we're playing quite nice football. You could laugh, you could come watch and enjoy football. In that moment, we were the second best in terms of a defensive record. It was Mamelodi Sundowns and us.
Yes.
And you could see where we were. But still then, we were still feeling the pressure. There was still, we had issues and all that. But we tried our best because we understood that there were so many people. There's a journalist who said to me, I'm so heartbroken because my late father was a Swallows supporter. And sometimes even when we conduct interviews with you, I don't only ask questions as a reporter. I'm asking these questions on behalf of my late father.
Wow.
And these are stories that touch you. Listen, we are professionals.
Yeah.
But before we are professionals, we are human beings. Maungena lapha ku filling station mayikubuzi out ezokufakela petrol ukuthi abra Steve manje so yashiya ndoda. You know how painful that is?
Yeah.
And the person who's asking me here, I don't know how many people had been asking to bring players and all that. When someone says, can I come join Swallows? I can't say no. I'm still part of Moroka Swallows because I worked there, I earned a living there. But my only honesty must come to a point where I would say, listen, I think you could help. I don't know if we do have a few things that need to be ironed out. I'm indirectly trying to tell them that, yes, you may join. It would be lovely. But also expect to have hiccups because we are actually at an environment where there's turbulence. And you cannot be in denial of that. You have to accept that humbly so that we can find a solution. Because if you are in denial, you shall never find a solution. So the only way out of any predicament and a problem is acceptance of existence of a predicament. Then you try find solutions.
Talk about those solutions, Steve. With all the new players that are either coming in, have come in, will come in at some point, does the team not risk something that we've seen happen in football before, especially the local game, where they'll go through documents and then something called improperly registered player then comes up and say, yeah, but he played in game XYZ. You've already lost 6 points. You've left them with 19.
It's painful. And saying that, Rob, you know, which is what I said to Tiger, no Musa, no Taylor, when I send them individual private messages to say, guys, ningayenza lento, because at least already we're at 19. Worst case scenario, you need about 11, depending what happens to people below you and so forth. Yeah. And when you look at it from that point of view, you're saying, I hope it is. But the greatest danger is that if there's errors we committed administratively, we should not compromise the team. But the unfortunate part, and it is something that I wouldn't wish to say, but I have to say it. The unfortunate part is that for cause, there's no consequences. There's people who just commit errors and they walk scot-free as if, no, there's nothing wrong with it. There's a boy we had from Cape Town City. We call him Umonami. He's from Burkina Faso. Eric spoke to me about Umonami. He said, Steve, there's a midfielder here, man. I wanted us to take Ambina abroad. The Ambina deal had some issues and all that. I don't even want to go any further up because then it talks to Cape Town City. Yeah. So there was an issue with Ambina. And then I said, Erika, it's fine, let him come. Need to go chairman. Now, we need to be smart here because you're going to train and develop this player. So have an agreement with the chairman at Cape Town City, but be guaranteed, after a year's training here at Moroka Swallows, this player is going to be different. And then we agree, Monami comes to us on loan. We ask Elasto to sign this player, get him registered as foreigner. Robert, we played all the matches we had played up until now, the 19 points. We couldn't. Look, listen to what happens. Then I'm asking Elasto that, Elasto, did you manage to register Monami? Because it had been postponed and postponed. Yeah. He said, Coach, I had tried to do it, but what? There's a mistake that occurred. I said, what mistake? He said, no, man, the letterhead, when we registered him, it was still at Swallows FC. And listen, that player, since beginning of the season, first round, he had not been registered because he had been improperly registered under Swallows by a guy who knows exactly what it is. This is Moroka Swallows and not Swallows FC. But who's going to account for that? Who's likely to be fired? I have to leave this job where I was trying to help my people and help the players revive Dobsonville, try share my skill because of such. But Uzoyapu Elasto, he will go nowhere. He will be there, Elasto. If I were to give you a list of stuff that we went through and asking Elasto, let's just be truthful, serve here and try maintain higher standards and be more professional. It was like I was insulting. I ended up becoming an enemy of my own people because I was trying to say there's no way we have to take our standards and take them higher. I was shocked to see Monami play over the weekend, Masidalane Polokwane City. He went in as a sub. He was there. And I haven't spoken to my colleagues, Swallows, because I'm slightly outside. I have to be professional.
So is he now properly registered?
I don't know. That scares me.
But I didn't even know about that story. I was just asking because I know how football works.
Don't go there. Don't unpack this. Maybe you'll unpack it in my absence because then it comes out as if I threw something on your table.
Absolutely. That came from me.
No. May I request you?
Yeah.
For the first time, I take charge of your interview. This time you listen to me.
I'm listening, sir.
Yeah. As you listen to me, you're going to do exactly as I say, not as I do. The subject you just introduced me to, you're not going to touch.
Yeah.
You close that file up until this interview is done. At the end of this interview, tomorrow or some other day, you can revisit that. For now, get to the next subject. What was your next subject?
My next subject is that you're coming alive towards the end of the interview, and I'm hating it. I'm hating it.
I told you about the hour.
Don't worry about that. Okay. Don't worry. What's your relationship with the chairman? What's your relationship like with the chairman?
Top. Listen,
I mean, do you reach out to him? Do you tell him the frustrations that it sounds like you have?
He's a nice guy.
Yeah.
Chairman is a nice guy.
We know that. He's a nice guy to us. He's a nice guy to the people.
To be frank with you, where I think we let the supporters down was in execution of administrative duties. We dropped the ball big time.
So why didn't they fire those administrators that could not administrate?
I am not a chief executive officer. I have no power and authority to hire, and I have no power and authority to fire. I am just a technical
But if your
person.
job becomes redundant because of all those admin problems, then what must happen?
I must bat my teeth and try my utmost best to perform much better, even higher.
Your teeth deserve more respect. Are you going back to Sundown, sir?
No, sir. I'm going through this now.
Yeah.
And bringing in Mamelodi Sundowns would be highly disrespectful of me because it is quite stable because Sundowns now everything's functioning so well, and it would be unfair of me to start then dancing on the table wearing Buyelo, trying to invite attention to say, no, I don't wish to do that. But as is, we'll just take things as they come. You wake up tomorrow, you get another request from Robert to say, Steve, come explain what's happening. We are duty bound because a lot of people are interested in this. Not that we are snitching and all that, but we remain accountable because someone was asking me, why we are Robert? When I got in, upon entry, he invited me. I was there. Now he exit. I don't want to enter the exit illegally. So I must go see Robert so that there's no entry. We exit.
Who are these people that always want to own who goes to Robert?
No,
I hear this so much. I don't like frying. I like healthy stuff. I grill. Grilling is better than frying. It's a better health option than frying.
I agree. So, but we are duty bound. Listen, who we are, unfortunately, is not for ourselves or our own interests.
What's your next coaching job?
To be on the bench somewhere and instruct players to perform some technical things, defend this way, attack that way, have a transition negative, transition positive, head the ball, put it on the ground and all that. So far, nothing has come up.
But in Turkey or Saudi?
Who told you all this?
Bye-bye.
Hashtag MSW. Live now on 947 Vuma FM, Rise FM, and Sowetan Live. At the same time.
Hashtag MSW.